I'd like to propose a toast to Paul Mariner, to Torsten Fring's first goal in a Toronto FC uniform in Major League Soccer, and I also want to toast TFC's significantly improved midfield from a defensive perspective, and I got numbers to back that up, which I'll get to in a moment. How you doing, everybody? Tim here once again. View from the South Stands, coming to you late Wednesday evening after TFC's strongest game of the season. Would that be fair to say? Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the effort overall tonight. Other than maybe a bit of reckless positional play from a Richard Eckersley, I can't really think of anything to significantly criticize tonight. That was top to bottom, I think, TFC's strongest effort in Major League Soccer all season, and it's quite sweet that effort comes at the renovated Saputo Stadium against the Montreal Impact. It was also really sweet as well to see Joey Saputo tweet tonight how we thought that game was an absolute disgrace. So the Paul Mariner era, he finally gets a win after 4 tries, 2 draws, a loss and a win. 1.75 goals per game conceded, 2 goals per game scored over that period of time. He was obviously brought in to make this club competitive over the short term, and I think obviously to his credit he's doing that. That's the second time, if you're counting at home, that in 3 games, the second time in 3 games that the club has scored 3 times, and they did that in Montreal, a place that saw them beat Seattle last week. I think 4 goals they scored against a really, really strong team from the Western Conference. That's 3 goals in Houston, the first team to leave the new Houston Stadium with any points. They had some defensive troubles, obviously, in the Houston game and in the New England game on the weekend as well. But hey, some progress is being made, and especially over the short term, if you're scoring more goals than you're conceding on average, things are going to start to happen positively for you, and that's I think what happened tonight. Now let's not get ahead of ourselves. 1 game does not a season make. 1 strong result against a hated rival does not negate the fact that the team is still dead last in Major League Soccer. It still doesn't negate the fact that the Reds are still abject at the back, quality-wise. It still doesn't negate the fact that you've got guys like Kouvermans and Johnson who are probably getting very leggy right now because there isn't a lot of depth behind them up top to actually sub those guys off and give them a rest. So the team has been playing relatively well of late, but they're very, very thin in places, and they're very poor in other places as well. But again, over the short term, Mariner seems to have gotten some buy-in from the players and is starting to make a significant difference, at least over the short term. Now tonight, I think, other than the 3 goals, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, I think the thing that impressed me the most was the much better defensive effort from all over the field tonight. I think it's kind of unfair when we actually isolate the defensive 4, whoever they're going to be, and just shit on them, pardon my language, and I'll say it again, shit on them for conceding 3 goals or blowing a lead late against New England, or whatever the case may be. It's a team game. If the defenders are not getting, even if the defenders are poor, if they're not getting any support from strikers tracking back, from the goalkeeper doing their job on sort of commanding the box, midfielders tracking back and soaking up some of the defensive pressure and so on, if those guys are not doing their jobs defensively, the back 4 are going to be left out to dry more often than not, and their quality or lack thereof is going to be significantly exposed. That's been happening all season. But what I liked about tonight, I think more than anything else, is we had that much better defensive effort from all over the field. I saw Johnson and Kouvermans, guys who've been running a lot, playing a lot over the last little while, tracking back. I saw Julian de Guzman continue to be, and for those of you who think I'm a Julian de Guzman hater, I want you to take this one, what I'm about to say right now. I think he's been consistently our best player over the last 7 or 8 weeks. And until he got subbed off in the 60th minute today, I think that continued. Ashton Morgan has been looking strong. He's been looking strong defensively. He's been looking like a threat offensively as well, with 3 assists in the last couple of games. But again, he's not forsaking his defensive positioning as well. He's relying upon his athleticism to get up and down the park. He's been doing that really, really well. The thing I think that I liked most defensively about the effort tonight was the fact that TFC's midfield really did a good job soaking up the pressure from Montreal. Montreal had 60+% possession in the home park tonight, and we're not talking Barcelona here, but they had obviously more of the ball than the Reds did. But a lot of that possession was, for want of a better term, meaningless possession. It was midfield possession where they were trying to get around Dunfield, trying to get around Avila, trying to get around Frings, and for the first 60 minutes trying to get around Julian de Guzman as well, and not having a great success rate. Speaking of success rate, and I did a little number crunching after the game, the TFC midfield tonight, and that includes Reggie Lamb when he came on for Julian de Guzman in the second half, they made 54 successful passes in the midfield, 37 unsuccessful. Again, we're not talking Barcelona or Arsenal here. We're talking a struggling Major League Soccer team. We're talking a 68% success rate on their passes, which is far and away the best rate that the TFC midfield has had all season. So what I saw tonight, and again, I think we have to take it with a grain of salt to a degree, is we're looking at a Montreal team that's an expansion team. They've had some good results lately. They're still an expansion team, finding their legs. But putting that aside for a moment, I saw TFC play a Major League Soccer opponent, and I saw a defensive effort from the midfield group and the strikers tracking back, making it significantly easier for the fullbacks to get up the wings and be covered, and for the center backs to do their job as well. I think obviously the proof is in the pudding, considering the TFC got a shutout, didn't they? Now, the back four and Kosic were not terribly troubled all night, in spite of that possession, and that again speaks, I think, to the organization. That speaks to the 4-4-2. That speaks to playing to your strengths, and having Dunfield, having Avila, having Torsten Frings, and having Julian de Guzman all start those last 4 games under Paul Mariner and start to develop some cohesion as a unit, I think is starting at least to have an impact defensively. Now, the domination of Montreal continues, and I'm going to gloat a little bit about this. TFC historically has owned the impact, and that continues. That's 10 times now that they've played in all competitions since TFC was founded back in 2007, and the Voyageurs Cup, as it currently stands, the competition as it currently stands, started back in 2008. The Impact have been shut out 6 times in those 10 games. All time in all competitions, TFC has a plus 13 goal differential against the Impact. And even if you take the 6-1, if you take that out of it, it's still a significant advantage. And yes, I know that Montreal has only been an MLS team this year, but hey, it's a derby, and I don't like them. I don't like their fans. I don't like them coming to our stadium and doing what they did a little bit early on this season. And I'm really happy that the Reds went into their house tonight and showed them that, yeah, they're having a good season so far, but they've got a bugaboo down the road, down the 401, that's been beating them year in and year out. And we avenged that loss that I attended on Easter Saturday back earlier in April. So, from the Impact to the New York Red Bulls, Thierry Henry, Rafa Marquez, Juan Agudelo, and a very, very strong New York Red Bulls team. TFC is going to be facing the Red Bulls Saturday evening at BMO Field. That's going to be a much tougher nut to crack than the Montreal Impact, with all due respect. And again, I hope that some of the things that are starting to appear, whether it be clicking offensively when you've got Johnson and Kourumans not only tracking back but actually scoring goals, which is obviously something. Scoring goals in 2s and 3s over the last few games certainly speaks to the fact that offensively the Reds can keep themselves in games. The defensive effort, particularly from the midfield tonight, actually speaks to the fact that if organized properly, the Reds can actually stay competitive defensively. With those two things sort of starting to change, or at least we hope starting to change, and get a little more consistent on both sides of the ball, let's hope that they can put the boots to the energy drinks on Saturday and get a little winning streak going. So that's it. I want to thank you very much for watching. You guys have yourselves a wonderful week, and I'll have some more stuff up on the blog over the next few days. I'm working on a piece about the TFC salary cap situation and some of the contracts, some of the millstone contracts that the Reds are currently dealing with right now that are making it probably very challenging to upgrade the club, whether it be short-term or long-term. And also I'm writing a piece about 2013 tickets and what this season means, and what an important sort of statement it's going to be about the future of this club if they don't get the ticketing right for 2013. Again, I want to thank you for watching. I'll have another video blog up on Saturday after the Red Bulls game, which I hope is the beginning of a nice little winning streak for our Toronto FC. But again, thank you, Paul Mariner. Thank you, TFC. And thank you to the hospitable Montreal Impact for the 3-0 win. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.